Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another BKFC Reddit Ask Me Anything. We're joined by the Knucklemaniac himself, Mr. Cody Vidal. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, brother. How are you doing today?
You know, I wish they could bottle your energy. You're a guy who seems to always be going 100 miles an hour, and I never see you slow down. Like, where do you get all that energy?
When I was 4 years old, brother, I remember being in the projects of Pennsylvania, and in comes this woman I never met in my life, and my mother said, "My son is too hyper." And the woman had a conversation with my mom about getting me in school as early as possible. So they talked about getting me in school as early as September of that year. My birthday would have been September 27th, and I would have been turning 4 years old that year, actually. So I was 3 years old, and their earliest they could put me in kindergarten, brother, was 4 years old.
Wow.
And so I remember the conversation. I was going to kindergarten at just the age of 4 years old, and shortly after that, I find myself in a large facility where they have all these different toys that little kids play with. And then they gave me a mathematics workbook with addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. And I never even seen multiplication or division before. And again, I just turned 4 years old and I never did addition or subtraction on paper. And they were basically evaluating me.
Okay.
And out comes the doctor after a series of failed attempts of doing any of these activities because I've never done them before. And they say, "Ma'am, your son has ADHD, attention deficit hyperactive disorder." And although I think the tests are really ridiculous to give to a 4-year-old, ADHD, I for sure have. And with that said, brother, it's not attention deficit hyperactive disorder. The ADHD that I have should be studied by all medical people across the globe because the ADHD that I have is aggressive, deadly, hyperactive destroyer.
You know what I love about you is you can think you are Cody Vidal, but you're all these different characters. You could do Macho Man, you could do all these different characters, but you could literally be this one character the whole time. And I love that you're so committed to your craft, and like I think it's great.
What?
Exactly, so cold, right? Yeah.
What'd you say?
I know you switched over.
It doesn't matter what you said, jabroni, because the Knucklemaniac is here to take over the BKFC and to wave the American flag and to wave the BKFC flag and to wave the combat sports flag because BKFC is the fastest growing combat sport itself in the entire world. And it is led by Dave Feldman. It is led by Conor McGregor. It is led by Nate Shook. It is led by Dave Feldman Jr. It is led by the BKFC fighters such as myself, the Knucklemaniac, brother. So keep giving me questions because it does matter what you say. And screw what The Rock says because he's off somewhere making some cheap film anyway, brother. Actually, I want to see that film. I want to see the film about Mark Kerr, the Smashing Machine, brother, because it has my favorite boxer. I feel Alexander Usyk in it with the Ukrainian colors. Alexander Usyk is playing Igor Ice Cold Vovchanchin, my favorite MMA fighter of the early 90s, the greatest MMA fighter of all time during that period of bare knuckle MMA. So I want to talk about that. I want to talk about bare knuckle MMA. Let's start there. My first experience with bare knuckle fighting at all was watching old shows, the old Vale Tudo shows, the old NHB shows, the old full fights, they call them in Russia, full fight or full contact. And Igor Vovchanchin, 1 inch shorter than me, 5'8" he was, 230, 240 pounds, was a kickboxer who learned a little bit of grappling and ran through the heavyweight division. And he would defeat 3 men in one night, 3 super heavyweights, all over 300 pounds. One of them was Paul Varlins, a very decorated wrestler. Sure. And Igor Vovchanchin was able to run through those 3 men, no gloves, bare knuckle. And that's what I want to see in the future. I want to see BKFC shift into the bare knuckle fighting of boxing, the bare knuckle fists, but I also want to see the bare knuckle MMA. And I hope that happens with BKFC. I really do. So, brother, What questions do you have? I'm full of excitement. I'm full of Knucklemania. Let's go.
One of my favorite memories is watching Volchanshin kick people and hit him in the neck and just put him to sleep. You know what I mean? Like, that dude was a beast.
Hey, maybe it's too taboo for TV, but there's nothing like a good old soccer kick or head stomp, right?
You know, I was one of those.
A leg drop, brother.
I liked UFC, but I like Pride. I really love those Pride rules.
Pride is so much better than UFC. Hold on.
All right, man. Uh-oh.
Hi.
Did your phone die? Oh, are you back?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
7, 6, 5. You know what? I was going to pull out my Pride FC shirt that I got when Dan Henderson knocked out Hector Lombard, BKFC fighter. It was an amazing Pride FC shirt. I loved it. I loved it a lot. But anyway, yeah, Pride Fighting Championships was the best, and I'd love to see a form of that with bare knuckle for BKFC.
I think a lot of fans would love to see like a one-night tournament. So many people have asked for it. Granted, it would be harder with the cuts and all that. You know, like, I don't know, like the rules you'd have to do, but I would love to see a one-night tournament for some of your guys at certain weight classes for sure.
For BKFC or for BKFC MMA?
BKFC itself, but I mean MMA too. But like I said, BKFC, like you look at like your weight class right now, like right now, 185, you got Josh Dyer, you got Juggernaut, you have you got David Simpson, you got Jomi, you got Warren, you got Mike Jones, you got a lot of guys. And like I said, a one night 185, that would be phenomenal to watch you guys do like an 8-man tournament or a 16-man tournament. I think it'd be so fun.
It'd be amazing. And brother, I'm all about it. But as soon as you get one cut under your eye or over your eye and it's too deep, let's say you win, you can't advance to the next fight because the cut's too deep. And now you got to take a loss to a cut. I know what that's like. It's not fun. It's not worth it at that point.
Sure.
You know? So I think it'd be different if it was bare knuckle MMA, because if you had a bad cut, you could defend yourself maybe on more of the takedowns, more of the wrestling, etc. But hey, if they offered to me, I'd take it.
Absolutely. All right. So listen, you're a guy who you bleed black and gold, you know, for the BKFC. You do all these characters. Bare knuckle is absolutely giving you a push. You know, you're fighting in California, you're fighting in Philadelphia. Like, I'm sure like you're close to fighting in New Jersey. You're a guy who wants to fight as much as you can. Bare knuckle is giving you the push. Like, oh, did I lose you? Oh, you're back.
You cut out there, brother.
Okay. Sorry.
You said bare knuckle, and then you went.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry about that. Yeah. So I don't know what's going on. Bare knuckle's giving you a heck of a push lately. You're fighting in Philadelphia. You're fighting in California. Like I said, I know you had wanted to fight in New Jersey. You'd wanted to fight in Italy. Bare knuckle is like seemed to like hitch themselves to you and really like be, you know, riding your shoulders. How great is that feeling knowing that bare knuckle is investing so much into you?
Well, when it comes to the owner, Dave Feldman, his son, or Nate Shook, I wouldn't say that they're giving me any direct push that I know of. I work with my manager, Gabriel.
Sure.
Gabriel communicates with them. And Gabriel, first and foremost, saw a star in me before anybody else did in BKFC. Gabriel's obviously owner of BKFC Spain, owner of BKFC Italy. That's why I don't fight over there. It would be a conflict of interest, correct?
Sure.
So with that said, is that Gabriel saw it in me. Gabriel still pushes for me. And it's not that Dave or Dave Jr. or Nate Shook. It's not that they like me or don't like me. It's more so that those are businessmen and they keep their emotions under control, because I could tell that they don't want to favor any specific fighter, because then that's when you start having problems in a business, right? If a boss has 3 managers and they all have equal divisions and he favors one manager over there and the other managers know that, jealousy happens naturally. Human emotions happen, you know, brother. And so with all that said, it's more so the guys like Brian Sosha who run the Bare Knuckles show. It's more guys like you. It's more guys that are in the podcast that are communicating with the BKFC guys.
Sure.
And honestly, I get more recognition from the BKFC fighters themselves than I actually do from the BKF staff. And again, it's not anything to do against the BKFC staff. They're busy. They're growing the sport. It's not easy with all the rules and the regulations and all the finances. It's not easy. I'm a business owner myself. So, you know, I would say that if BKFC was 10, 15, 20 years into the mix and everything was flowing properly, I would say that maybe we would have greater conversations. But at the same time, I don't contact the BKFC alumni. I don't really contact the BKFC crew too much myself. I just let my manager handle that, and I run my business. I do my training. I'm a father, and you know, ultimately, I'm getting the tough love. I believe. You know, Dave Feldman wants to see someone come in and win in devastating fashion and knockout. So, I definitely got his respect last fight, but I feel like satisfaction is the death of desire. Once you're satisfied, you're dead. And so nobody cares about your last fight. They only care about the current fight. And this is the fighting business. And Dave's only going to make money off people who knock other people out. And that's just the truth.
I certainly don't mean to say that, like, you know, like they're giving you like a unfair push, but you go out, you do all the shows, you do the characters. Like I saw you promoting like crazy out in Philadelphia. Like you're a guy who goes out of his way to promote the company. And I feel like, you know, because you're so outgoing and you're great with your fists too. You know what I mean? It's not like you're not deserving of this, but I could see you easily. This is a huge fight. This could be a number one contender fight. I mean, we haven't seen Jomi for a while. Who knows what's going on? And the one thing they always say, if it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense. And we've seen plenty of people, like we just saw Sakara jump the line over a whole bunch of other people. This could easily be a number one contender fight. You know, you go out there, you look dominant, and next they want to give you the winner of Dyer versus Hunt.
Well, this is the number one contendership. No matter what anybody says, it's the number one contendership because ultimately I'm the one going in the ring. I'm the one representing BKFC. I'm the one representing myself. I'm the one representing bare knuckle fighting. I'm the one winning in that fight. I'm the one that is now stealing everyone's focus. And where focus goes, energy goes. And where energy goes, power goes. And where power goes, you go. And that's where the money flows. Money flows where energy goes. So with that said, you know, I'm not some guy from the UFC. I'm not some guy from WBC, WBO boxing.
Sure.
Okay. But I am someone who always fucking believed in the mission, always believed in the vision. And the word impossible says I'm possible. So anyone that says mission impossible, they're saying mission, I am possible.
Okay.
And so I went through surgeries, knee surgeries, fucking back surgeries. I went through wrist surgeries, pushing nerves aside just so I could use my hand. I fought my amateur career and won titles in my amateur career in MMA. I've won boxing matches. Okay. I've won jiu-jitsu tournaments. All right. And I did all that with one arm, one leg. I am a phenomenal athlete, but outside of the athleticism that I was born with, okay, I have a heart and I have a mind and I am the soul that wants to and only wants to become the best. Personally, that is my only personal endeavor in this world besides being a servant to others, being a servant to my kid, being a servant to God. My only personal endeavor, and this is honest to God, you could give me millions and millions of dollars, whatever. If I'm not winning in what I love most, which is fighting, then I'm not living.
Sure.
So the point about that is you take somebody like me and you give them opportunity and you share that same dream, you share that same vision. Now, together, you make that idea a reality. And it's not just an idea. It's not just a reality. It's knuckle fucking mania, brother.
Okay. Of course. Okay, so let's talk about this. Like, I mean, it's great that Hunt's back. He's fighting Dyer. That's a tough fight. It's one of those, like, I would love to see you versus Hunt because you guys are both so great at, like, cutting promos. That's the fight a lot of us want to see. I know you like both guys, but are you deep down kind of like, I know that you say you're going to win. Are you hoping that Lorenzo gets to win so you get a face off with him?
So it's already written. It's already prophetic. Okay. How I've lived my life. Okay. This Bible right here was written by prophets. Okay. These are individuals that were getting information received from our creator. Okay. And there are modern day prophets, meaning there are modern day people that can really see into the future. And I don't get into astronomy, and I don't get into any kind of witchcraft or satanic crap. I hate the devil. The devil has a job. The devil's to punish all the people that don't follow God. I get that. So there is a need for villains. And in the Bible, Christ says there is a need for temptation. Temptation is necessary, and it's to resolve your strength. It's to resolve your faith, strengthen your faith. But I will say this as generally as possible. I have been thinking and fantasizing about becoming the bare knuckle world champion, just a fighting world champion, for a very, 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 very long time. And the thought is obsessive. And someone like me, we don't have a great attention span for 99% of the world's activities. But when you have that 1% activity, it gets 100% of your focus, no matter what you're doing. I couldn't work a normal job.
No.
I couldn't be in a bad relationship. I couldn't be in a situation with people, including my own weaknesses, and ever be okay with it, while I have this dream, this vision, this calling, this duty to be the very best at what I love. I've tried quitting, but I couldn't quit trying.
Okay.
Sure. I tried giving up. I couldn't give up trying. So the point about this is I am here at the age of 37 years old because this is prophetic. And so when you look at who I was years ago, and I was contacting Dave Feldman on Facebook. I still have the messages. I was contacting Nate Shook on Facebook. I still have the messages. When you guys have bare knuckle MMA, let me know. I'm ready. Because it originally was supposed to be bare knuckle MMA, and then they just switched to bare knuckle fighting, which is just punching and clinch work. Okay? Which, hey, everybody I ever sparred, whether it's Fabricio Verdum, whether it was Dan Henderson, Sean Strickland, okay, whether it was Johnny Hendricks, Kamaru Usman, whether it was Tim Boach, okay? I've sparred a lot of great individuals, and I give nothing but respect to them. Everyone shot on me. Because my pressure, it's not even that I hit hard, because I do hit hard. It's not even that I'm precise, because I am precise. It's my pressure. I'm 5'9". If I stand on the outside, you're going to pick me apart.
Sure.
Then again, I have really long reach, brother.
Right.
So,
and awesome pythons.
Yeah. With all that said, my favorite BKFC fighter was always Lorenzo Hunt.
Okay.
And to fight Lorenzo Hunt and to defeat Lorenzo Hunt will be like, and I've said this in another podcast, will be like challenging my own father. Would be like maybe challenging an uncle or a big brother. There's no hate. Sure. It's all respect. It's all, I raised my son. My son's going to be 9 years old in November. One day I want my son to knock me out or at least drop me. Right?
Okay. Sure.
And he's getting close because at 8 years old, he's got pythons like me. Victor! Come here!
He was showing us his guns on the last one. I remember, like, in the car, he was flexing on us.
The point about this is that he hits him really hard the way it is.
Okay.
All right. You're on live, buddy. Show him the pythons. Squeeze tighter.
Look at that. What a machine. What's up, dude? How are you doing?
Good.
Are you going to fight bare knuckle at some point?
Probably, yeah.
Probably, yeah. Cool.
November 15th. That's one day before what?
My birthday.
Before your 9th birthday.
Nice.
So I'll be fighting and winning the day before his birthday.
Does Victor get to go to the fight?
Oh, yeah. If BKFC allows it, he's going to be involved in a lot of the activities we're doing.
Very cool.
You're dismissed, buddy.
Thanks, man. Thanks for showing us the weapons.
Come give me a punch quick. You got to hit me in the jaw. He can't cut me. Give me a sock.
Knock him out. Oof.
Harder. 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 Oh, okay, that was strong. All right, get out of here. All right, so back to Lorenzo Hunt. Lorenzo Hunt, I've met him, talked to him a couple of times, got videos with him and his family. He's a very good guy. He's a very good family guy. He puts the act on. He puts that persona on, that character. And it's polarizing. It's powerful. And Lorenzo said this to me when I first met him. I was walking around in my Brixton jacket, and I had my cabbie hat on, reminiscent of a gypsy, a bare knuckle gypsy named Bobby Gun. And Lorenzo saw me, and I was just going, "Ain't no champ!" And he just turned and he started laughing, and he looked at his wife and he goes, I swear I know that man from the movie somewhere. He's going to be somebody. And then after I lost to a cut, he was stretching out, and it was just him by himself. And I walked up to him, and I said, how am I looking? And he just looked at me. He goes, "Keep fighting. Don't quit." You know? So
yeah.
It has nothing to do with me not liking him. It has nothing to do with me wanting to take what's his. It has everything to do with me fighting for and winning what is mine. And to be the best, you got to beat the best. And I have defended Lorenzo. No matter what controversy is going on around his name, I have defended Lorenzo. When they had Josh Dyer and they had Mike Richmond fighting each other, I, in a video, said, "What? Josh Dyer? What? Mike Richmond? What? The best of the 185-pound division? What?" As far as I'm concerned, Lorenzo Hunt is still the 185 and is still the 205-pound champion. So if I want to be the best, who do I need to fight? That man. Who's in my way? David Simpson. Who's getting out of my way? David Simpson. And their training partners.
They are. I was going to bring that up. I was going to say, it's one of those things, like, I mean, I'm sure fighting David Simpson is going to tell you quite, I mean, and granted, like I said, Lorenzo's his own guy, but they are training partners. Sparring him or fighting him is going to kind of show you a lot, I think.
Well, not only that, if you're David Simpson and you're training with Lorenzo Hunt, Lorenzo Hunt has such a big personality. He's a good coach. That's what I love about him. I think Lorenzo Hunt, the reason why he's so good is because he coaches.
Sure.
I coach. Okay, when you coach, it's as if you're watching yourself. You're taking everything you learn and you're putting it in another person, and you're attempting to make them as good as you, if not better. And by doing that, your mind is now rehearsing everything that you already know. So you're bringing it from your memory bank out to the forefront of your mind and making it a conscious reality in that moment, which makes you better. So Lorenzo's as good as he is because he also coaches. So David Simpson, I'm sure, learns a lot from Lorenzo, but pride becomes a factor. And I'm sure that there's no way in hell Lorenzo ever lets David Simpson get one up on him in training and sparring.
No.
If they're sparring each other. If they're sparring each other. And so my point about that is it would be really hard to want to fight your friend and actually beat your friend if he's your coach, he's your sensei, and he's the one that's constantly defeating you or doing better than you in sparring, right? So you got to think David Simpson's coming in this fight like thinking if he wins and Lorenzo wins, is he going to fight Lorenzo? They probably have some deal where Lorenzo's like, nah, I'm going to go back up to 205 and fight Sakara and win the championship off of Sakara and then go back after heavyweight because Lorenzo made it clear he wants to fight for the heavyweight title. And we know that Perdomo's after the heavyweight title. We know that Perdomo and Lorenzo have a little clash there. Lorenzo doesn't like the Cubans. And so, yeah, we can keep going, keep asking questions.
No, I was at the fight where Perdomo had won, and Lorenzo was sitting with us in the media room, and Lorenzo was, Lorenzo was not saying the nicest thing about Perdomo, and Perdomo was like, that was, in the early Perdomo, so he was much more like nice about it. I feel like it would be a lot different now. Those guys would be in each other's face, but they definitely do not like each other. Yeah.
I mean, they're both very aggressive individuals. They don't want to rationalize anything. They don't want to communicate. They just want to communicate with fists, with violence. And hey, I'm about that too. So, I mean, Perdomo's got the Mike Tyson energy. Lorenzo Hunt has the Mike Tyson energy, so it's only natural. It's only natural that those two would want to clash. But with Lorenzo getting up there in age, and Lorenzo having the ability to fight again in BKFC, he wants to win the heavyweight championship. Time becomes a factor. Age becomes a factor. Sure. If you're coming all the way back down to 185 when you were what was the max weight he had? Was he 240?
Yeah, I think it was like 240, 250, somewhere.
So there. 240 down to 185. If I'm not mistaken, that's like what, 60 some pounds or close to it?
Sure. Yep.
Right? If you're sacrificing 60 pounds to go down to fight for 185 and then go up to fight for the 205 pound belt, and then you want to go fight for the heavyweight belt, there's gonna be a lot of time involved there.
For
right?
Sure.
And hey, if I was him, I would want to do that too. But the fact that he already won the 185 and already won the 205 pound titles and he didn't actually lose them, sure. I would keep that in my mind, and I would just continue to go for the heavyweight championship if I was him.
I agree.
But the fact that he's coming down to 185, he's sacrificing weight. You asked me if I want Lorenzo Hunt to win. Of course, yes, I do, because to be the best, you got to beat the best. But with that said, if Josh Dyer beats Lorenzo, now they're 1-1, and he currently captures those titles off Lorenzo, at least the 185 at pound one, right?
Right.
So then Josh Dyer is now the king, not just of 185, but of BKFC, because before Lorenzo Hunt, there was no Perdomo, there was no Mike Perry.
Sure.
And before Lorenzo Hunt, there was no Josh Dyer. So if you look at it, Josh Dyer losing the Hunt the way he lost to him, if he's able to win, he capitalizes on those errors, those failures, and it adds to the Josh Dyer name even more.
Sure.
So point about it is like, do I want Hunt to win? Yes. Do I think that it's written in stone? Yes. But does Josh Dyer have free will? Yeah. And can Josh Dyer change fate? You know, I don't think fate is ever 100%. Put it that way. They were given free will for a reason. So I want to break that fight down technically if you want to.
You can, or I mean, we could wait until we watch the fight. I would like to talk to you about you fighting Simpson. To me, you and Simpson are very similar. Like this is going to be two guys who want to stay in the middle of the ring and beat the crap out of each other. Simpson has a very unique style. We've seen him like really start coming on the last couple of fights. Like I said, this is going to be two dudes who want to plant themselves in the middle of the ring and throw, I think.
I don't give away strategy.
I know.
So I'm just going to ask you some questions. You said that, what did you just say about Simpson's attacks, his fighting?
He's a guy who goes forward. He could be a little reckless. He's out of the box too. I've seen him go to his knees so he can punch people. Like I said, he's a unique individual.
Hey Simpson, I love you for that, brother.
I thought it was cool.
I mean, honestly, if I did ground and pound against Connolly when he bent over and they would have gave me the victory, I would have deserved it just like Simpson. Because if you're in a stand-up fight, if you're in a striking match and you squat down or bend over, you should be punched for that.
Absolutely.
Like that is not an operable, sensible defense. And we talked about that. So, you know, I don't like being rude. I don't like being disrespectful, but you know, karma's karma, justice is justice. And, you know, Connolly got away with a draw against me, got away with a TKO. Honestly, that should have been a TKO bending over as much as he did. Cause you know, if I wasn't a very conscious individual, I would have punched him in the back of the head when he bent down. I would have hammer fisted him in the back of the head. Sure. So to see Simpson go down on his knees and do what he did to him was honestly pretty funny. Like it was pretty poetic. Like he did that to himself is what I'm saying. So like sure. Connolly, if you're watching this, you did that to yourself. Don't be mad at me because I'm an observer saying it. You did that to yourself. Learn to move your fucking head, dude. Don't back straight up. And that comes to my point, brother. When do you see me back straight up?
I see you going forward. Like I said, it was interesting. So we interviewed your last opponent, and he was talking about how he's going to cut you apart, and you just kept going, and you wore him down, and he was dog tired. You know what I mean? Like I don't know that you go back. You have one gear.
Do you know who D-Rod is in the UFC?
Yeah.
Yeah, D-Rod beat the fucking shit out of Mike Perry and sent Mike Perry to BKFC.
Right.
That's one of my training partners.
Okay.
And we see D-Rod fight. And this is all the respect to D-Rod. D-Rod fights till the end, no matter if he's tired or not. And when I've sparred D-Rod, it's not that I'm trying to fight hard or punch hard. It's just like anybody else. I push the pace. That alone makes you uncomfortable. You're on your heels. Your heart's racing. Your mind's trying to pick up on what I'm doing. I'm constantly doing something different with my hands, with my head, with my feet. But I don't leave myself vulnerable or open to any specific shots.
No.
And so if you analyze me, everybody walks up to me and are like, dude, anybody that knows anything about fighting and that they care, they'll walk up to me and be like, dude, your fighting style is tailor-made for BKFC, for bare knuckle. And so far, it's been true.
Absolutely.
And so the reason why I asked you that question is because you said that David Simpson has come on in these last two fights. And this is no disrespect to David Simpson. Thank you for taking the fight. If you weren't my opponent, who would I be fighting right now? I wouldn't be fighting anybody. I respect you. But the point about it is that those two opponents that David just fought and beat went straight back into the ropes. What's the first fucking lesson they teach you in boxing? Don't go straight back.
Absolutely.
So I'm way more intelligent than that. And again, with my athleticism and my fucking insane ability to fight, I don't believe in luck, so I'm not going to say good luck. It just is what it is. I'm victorious, and that's the bottom line.
I heard a great quote. So I was at the BKFC over there in Hammond. I was hanging out with Bryce Henry and his coach and stuff like that. And I said something about good luck, and his coach, Ryan Perez, says, luck is for the mediocre. We have skill. And I loved it. Like, I thought it was great.
Yeah, fortune favors the brave, brother. Fortune favors the brave. And bravery isn't just fighting through a fearful situation. It's doing it intelligently. And bravery is studying. It takes bravery to
You froze on me. I don't know if you got a call maybe. There you are.
Can you hear me?
Now I can hear you. You froze for a second. You were talking about bravery.
So it's not the phone call.
Oh, okay.
So what I'm saying is that physical fatigue makes cowards of us all, and mental fatigue makes cowards of us all.
Sure.
And laziness is a form of cowardice. And laziness is what drives people to think about luck. Oh, if I get lucky in life, I'll get what I want. No, fighting is just like life. In fact, none of us would be here if our ancestors didn't fight.
Sure.
None of us would be here if our ancestors didn't win wars. I'm not okay with the wars, but I'm okay with the war that I fight. I'm okay with mutual combat.
Sure.
And so with that said, you said that David likes to meet his opponent in the middle of the ring. I do too. So it's going to be a clash of wills. It's going to be a clash of skills. And I have the stronger will. I have the strongest will, and I have the strongest skill set in this entire sport for BKFC. Are there maybe better long-range boxers than me? Sure. I'm 5'9".
Right.
Are there maybe guys that hit harder than me? Maybe. Are there guys that have better movement than me? I haven't seen the footwork. I haven't seen the head movement. I haven't seen the hands placed properly. I see guys swinging for the fences and going crazy because they want to get that highlight reel knockout, and sometimes they do, but I guarantee you they're not doing it against anybody worth their salt, worth their, like, you know, like, okay, let's look at Ben Rothwell.
Okay.
And we just mentioned him earlier, Mick Terrell, my buddy.
Sure.
Okay. Ben Rothwell didn't just swing wildly there. There was two quality opponents. There was an eye poke. Mick had the opportunity to take 5 minutes. Mick's pride or whatever he chose to not take that ample time. And now, because he got poked in the eye on that side, he was blind on that side, and he was moving to his left. And you had Ben doing this, leaning to his right. And he was waving, and he was literally moving Mick with his hand in this direction, and then bing, right? That's skill. That's not just go and swing at somebody. So what I'm saying is it is very unlikely to beat somebody who's very, very skilled, who has very good defense with one shot, especially if you're just going wild. And you see a lot of these guys with their chin in the air and they're doing these uppercuts. And it's like, that might work on a guy lesser, but at the championship level, that's not working. Like, you're not going to beat a Lorenzo Hunt that way.
No.
You're not going to beat a Perdomo that way. You're not going to beat a Ben Rothwell that way. You're not going to beat a Mick Terrell that way. So you're definitely not fucking beating me that way. So if you make an error, I promise you, when you make an error, I will capitalize on it.
Okay, everything goes away. Cody envisions it. Everything's great. Lorenzo wins. When do we want to see you again? Are you a guy? I mean, we heard Knucklemania is going to be in Philadelphia again. Is that when you would like to reemerge, or would you like to, fight for the belt in like one of these big international cards?
So this fight's November 15th.
Sure.
I beat David Simpson. Lorenzo beats Dyer. Let's say Lorenzo doesn't beat Dyer. Dyer wins, right?
Yep.
The BKFC $25 million tournament between 185 up to super heavyweight 275 is supposed to begin in March of next year, correct?
March or April, yes.
And that's supposed to happen in LA, correct? Or are they switching that to Philly?
I think it starts in LA and then it kind of works its way. But I think no one knows exactly. And like I said, I believe that Knucklemania is in February, but I'm not 100% sure. I don't know.
Well, either they do Knucklemania in February, or either they do the beginning of the tournament. I was thinking that Knucklemania should be the beginning of the tournament.
That'd be cool.
I want to fight for the championship as the first fight of that tournament. So whether it's Dyer or whether it's Hunt, I want to fight them for the championship as an entry fight to that tournament. Now, first is first. David Simpson. I'm not underestimating him.
No.
I'm not underestimating anybody I'm talking about. So first is first, and that's fighting and defeating, winning against David Simpson. So, again, he's a training partner with Lorenzo. So, yeah, it is, I would say, not practice, but it is similar to fighting Lorenzo because David hits hard and David does blitz. Lorenzo blitzes. And, yeah, even Lorenzo has some holes. Everybody has holes.
Sure.
But, yeah, I just think that Lorenzo is sacrificing a lot of weight coming down to 185. And I've given credit to David Simpson.
Sure.
I've given credit to Lorenzo, a lot of credit to Lorenzo. Let's give some credit to Josh Dyer, shall we?
Absolutely. I love Dyer. Like I've texted with him. He's a great dude.
Dyer seems like a very good guy. If you say he's a good guy, I believe it. Dyer wasn't as muscular as he is now. But Dyer did used to fight a lot crazier when he had less muscle. I don't know if gaining more muscle made him and training more and becoming more technical made him more focused and more calm. But he used to fight like a psychopath with his eyes wide open.
Dude, he had the craziest eyes. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I remember looking at Josh's eyes. I'm like, I want to fucking fight this guy so bad just because he's staring. Like, if somebody looks at me like that, like, fuck the rules. Fuck the rules, man. Like, if we're fighting bare knuckle and you're looking at me like that, even if you are beating my ass with just fists, like we're going to the ground or I'm headbutting or something like that, don't fucking look at me like that. Because it's like I can't even control myself at that point. Like I people look at me like that in a car. We're just on Catalina Island and some guy drove his fucking go-kart past me, like going 30 miles an hour. I'm just trying to fucking look at some horses with my kid and my lady and her daughter. And this dude honks the horn and flies past us and he stares at me. I got the fuck out of that golf cart and ran after him. And he was a local. Like he could have had guns waiting for me with a pack of hooligans waiting to shoot me up. But like Dyer's got those crazy eyes, man. And I want to give him the respect he deserves. So Josh Dyer, the way he wants to fight Lorenzo, and here's a tip, is you gotta not fight high, not fight tall. You got to fight long. I'm not going to tell you how to fight. I'm not going to tell you how to do it, but I'm telling you what to do. You got to fight long, not tall. There's a difference. There's a major difference. between fighting tall and fighting long. And not only that, Josh Dyer's best punches are his jab and his cross. We saw that against Mike Richmond.
Right.
So if Josh Dyer can keep Lorenzo at bay like he did against Richmond, Josh Dyer hits hard and he hits linear. And so Josh Dyer's got really good strength, energy. He's got good focus. He's got good skills, and he's a lot better of a fighter than he was when he fought against Lorenzo. It's just in his memory bank, can he clear any fear that he has from that prior fight? Because the way he's talking, the way he's saying like Lorenzo beat him up so bad and whatnot, it's like, that's not the kind of language I want to hear from somebody who's defending their championship.
Right. It'll be interesting to see what happens. You do have Josh, like I said, he looks like a completely different animal. Lorenzo's coming off a crazy long layoff, jumping right into the frying pan. I'm really excited. A lot of people were looking forward to Mundell versus Dyer. It was an okay fight. To me, this fight, Juggernaut versus Dyer, is going to be such a better fight.
Definitely. They have history. Lorenzo's still the 185 to a 5-pound championship. What Dyer has, let's be fair, is an interim championship. The person that Dyer won the championship from was Mike Richmond. Respect to Mike Richmond. Mike Richmond was knocked out by Lorenzo, but Mike Richmond did drop Lorenzo, gave him a really good fight. Absolutely. Unfortunately, Mike Richmond walked in with his left hand too low and went right in like he was just going to walk through him. And you need to be more careful. Sure. When you're fighting the pound for pound best fighter that BKFC has seen so far, Lorenzo Hunt, you need to be more careful. And so, point about it is Lorenzo's still the 185-pound champ, still a 205-pound champion, and Dyer to me is the interim champion, and Mundell's the 175-pound champion. Mundell, very, very good.
Sure.
He has the same fighting style every single fight. Nobody's been able to solve that puzzle. And I just think that this is a way better fight because of the history between Dyer and between Lorenzo. And it's a way better fight because Mike Perry and Mundell need to finally fight. They need to finally fight. And they need to fight for that. If they're going to fight at 175, then they need to put on the King of Violence and the 175-pound championship.
I agree.
And let's just be real. That King of Violence belt was there as like a popularity belt. It's there to give a championship to a guy like Mike. Yeah, Mike Perry.
Sure.
It's there to attract more fans. It's an intelligent business move. But at the end of the day, if you're defending that belt between 175 and 185 pound, you're going to have to fight the 175 or 185 pound champion sooner or later. And
I feel like it does way more for Mike being a champion of bare knuckle versus having the gimmick belt.
Oh, it totally does. It totally does. So for Mike to fight Mundell and to beat Mundell for a third time and become the unified 175-pound champion of BKFC doesn't just do a lot for Mike, does a lot for BKFC.
Absolutely.
And we all love Mike Perry. Whether you hate him or not, you got to love him and respect him. He's funny. He's confident. And he walks through fire. And it's very inspirational. So, yeah, this is a way better fight for Dyer and Hunt. Simpson fought Mundell. Simpson gave Mundell a really good fight.
Absolutely.
And I think there was a weight difference, size difference there that helped. But people are saying like Simpson's big and people are saying that Hunt's big, and like you can't trust numbers on paper, bro. I've stood next to all these people. I'm 5'9", and people that are 5'9" often say they're 5'11", they're 6 foot. No, the fuck you're not.
Sure.
No, you're not. I proudly say I'm 5'9". You know why? Because I used to think like I had to be tall to be dominant. I used to think I had to be tall to be a winner, to be a champion. It's not true. Leverage wins. Sure. Low, quick, aggressive. And so it says that Simpson's 5'11", maybe he's 5'10", maybe he's 5'9". I don't know, but I know I've stood next to Lorenzo Hunt. He's 5'9".
Okay. We are approaching the 1 hour mark. I could talk to you for 3 hours, but We're approaching the 1 hour mark. Is there any message, anything you'd like to especially get out there before I end up having to call it a wrap for today's show?
Before I go on that, my last comment is me saying that Lorenzo's 5'9", same height as me. It's me giving credit to him because everybody expects you to be 6 foot or taller to be a world champion. No, Lorenzo, if you're watching this, own your fucking height. Own it, because that makes you that much better. You're the 185 or 205 pound champion. Own it.
Absolutely.
So people write down that I'm 6 foot. I'm like, I'm not fucking 6 foot. It literally, my last fight said I was 6 foot. Like, I'm not 6 foot by any means. So, short kings. What was your question again? Shout outs or anything like that?
Well, not necessarily shout outs, but is there any message, anything you'd really like to hammer on before we call it a night?
Let's talk about Knucklemania. The Knucklemaniac. Yep. Where did it come from? Do you know where it came from? We've talked about this.
The like the Hulk Hogan type of thing, or
Knucklemaniac, the character Knucklemaniac. Where'd it come from?
Well, I know like Hulk Hogan passed away like the day before, right? Or like 2 days before your fight?
Hulk Hogan passed away 1 day before my fight. I honored him in that fight. The Knucklemaniac was born that day. Sure. But Knucklemaniac was born when I fought in the first Knucklemania. So there's WrestleMania in professional wrestling. WWE, there's WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
And Hulk Hogan was the Hulkamania. So he was the WrestleManiac, if you will.
Okay.
BKFC needs a hero. BKFC needs a Hulk Hogan. BKFC needs a Hulkamaniac. And they got the Knucklemaniac. The Knucklemaniac will fight anyone, anywhere, anytime, as long as he is somewhat healthy. Because we know the first 3 fights, I wasn't very healthy. With that said, I love this sport. I bleed for this sport.
Mm-hmm.
I think about this sport constantly. I'm excited to give that energy that I have to everyone around. I'm excited to entertain you. I'm excited to educate you. I'm excited to empower you with bare knuckle fighting championships, with the Knuckle Mania that goes on inside of here, brother. So I am here to excite you, to ignite you, and to invite you to the world of BKFC. So if you want blood, brother, follow Knucklemania and let the Knucklemaniac run wild through you.
You are such a madman. Like I said, I could easily see you becoming the face of, bare knuckle. Like I said, your characters are great. You're always out there. You're always up for an interview. Everything about you is great.
What you gonna do, brother? When Knucklemania runs wild on you.
All right, my friend. Listen, have a great fight. And as always, we will interview you after your fight.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
All right, man. Take it easy. Thank you.
God bless you all.
Bye.